Well, the more local commuter issue, if you will, or transportation issue was pedestrian accidents and deaths. Mayor de Blasio has tried to elevate the priority there and trying to curb some of them. Emily Frost from DNAinfo reporting on a story this week. Now, this surprised many. The community board initially supported something and then backed off. Explain to the viewers.
Yeah, so Cooper's Law emerged after a young boy who was 9 years old named Cooper Stock was killed when he was crossing the street. A taxi driver failed to yield and a tragedy resulted. So City Council member Helen Rosenthal of the Upper West Side decided, something had to be done about this because the taxi driver was allowed to continue driving. He made the mistake, but there were no real repercussions, and the family was so upset that, the taxi driver was back on the street the next day.
Right.
So she drafted this law. The law would make it a crime if he failed to yield, the taxi driver, or ran a red light or was speeding.
Okay.
His license would be suspended and he would be subject to a review. If he was guilty, his license would be permanently revoked.
Okay, so stiff penalty. But the community board felt it was vague, or they didn't understand what was proposed?
It's interesting because the community board was very much for this.
Right.
The Transportation Committee thought it was a great idea. When it got to the full board, where the 50-member volunteer board voted on it, they thought it was vague. They thought, what if something was amiss? What if, how do you define serious injury? What if the taxi driver just made a mistake and then he's off the road for weeks at a time, he's losing income, and it really was a mistake.
The breadwinner for their family, okay.
Right, the breadwinner, and, what if the judgment that he failed to yield was wrong?
Okay.
So who's deciding on this? And they poked a lot of holes in it. Right. Rosenthal wasn't at the meeting to defend it, but she says, actually the legislation has been tightened up, and those details are covered.
Okay, so Emily, we should point out these community boards, these votes are largely advisory, not binding.
Advisory.
And meanwhile, the bill is moving through the city council. Is that correct?
Right. So the bill is moving forward. It's going to be voted on. Rosenthal said she's gotten a lot of support. Of course, the family is supportive. The TLC said it was supportive. But the advisory board does hurt a little bit that they didn't support it.
Okay. All right, Emily. Thank you. Come back.